Hey, so um, like 9 months isn't too bad. It's better than some other times. Uh, I probably wouldn't be making this video if I hadn't received a comment today from someone just checking up on me. Um, on this site, I'm no one and nothing, but I still have people like you guys that do that, and you're interested or worried, or I don't know what motivated it, but it just means a lot that you guys um, are are there, and that you do that kind of thing. Um, yeah, so as I said in my reply, I don't really have an excuse for why I haven't been making videos. I'm not gonna make yet another video trying to explain that, but I discovered today actually, that comment really made me go back, because I was sure that I'd made several videos at the time and that I was actually going to upload them, and for some reason I didn't, and I can't really remember why. But I still have them, so I thought what I would do is I would upload them. Um, the most recent video, which I'm just going to tack on the end of this, was about politics, and again, all of this was recorded in March of this year, so some of it might be slightly out of date because of things that have happened since, but I think that there's still some worthwhile questions in there, and yeah, I'll see what you say. If I sound a bit weird, I have I'm a bit ill. I have a bit of a cough, not COVID. I've had I've had colds many times before. This feels exactly the same. If I was worried it was COVID or anything else, I would obviously get tested. And I mean, I'm in my house anyway, so uh, no one else lives here, so I'm not a threat to anyone, and you're not gonna catch a computer virus from me. That's a terrible joke. I don't know why I said it, but yeah. Anyway, enjoy the series of videos. I'm gonna force myself to upload them, and if for some reason I get into the mindset where I can't do it, the one thing I will promise to do right now is make a video explaining that mindset when it comes to me, because I really want to understand this. Okay, so I started this channel making videos about ideas, political ideas, religious ideas, social issues, and I'd like to get back to that as much as I can. One of the reasons why I've struggled to make videos quite a lot is because my mindset on this is in pretty much constant flux. A lot of people are very confident in what they believe, and that they're vehemently a liberal or a conservative or a socialist or whatever it happens to be. I tend to follow the facts, and of course it's not just about the facts, it's about what you value, but even that with me varies to some extent, because I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to organize the world in such a way that you can help as many people as possible, and as many people as possible can have a decent life. I'm always thinking about that. I'm always refining even the most basic of assumptions behind that, because that's just how I am. That's how I've always been. What I'm pretty sure of is that I've always been some type of communist. Now, of course, communism has a lot of stigma associated with it, but the basic idea is just that you have a society that doesn't use money, where there's no such thing as social class, and there's no oppressive state. And really, a communist is someone who has that as their ideal society. So it doesn't necessarily need to involve anything to do with the Soviet Union or Mao's China or anything like that.
But what I would say is that I'm very much not a fan of viewing things in absolutes. And in a capitalist system, the system itself and the people that are involved with it have an enormous incentive to maintain that system, which means that anything that threatens that system, any ideas that could end up completely transforming it, are anathema, and they have to be attacked, they have to be destroyed. And we see this play out in the history of how socialist and communist societies have come about. Much of the failure of these systems has been because they were overthrown by capitalists. They were under constant attack. Now, one of the things that I've been thinking about quite a lot is the idea of paranoia. Because under these circumstances where society is under attack, you don't necessarily know who you can trust. And I think that's why Stalin's Soviet Union became the way it did. It pretty much had to be like that in order to survive that period. And we even see that play out with more moderate leftists today. And one of the best examples the thing that sticks out in my mind the most is basically everything that happened around the 2020 US election. And even to some extent the 2019 UK election. But we'll talk about the US one first. Basically, lots of different people ran to be the Democratic nominee. I'm obviously not American, but if I had to say, I would have voted for Bernie. He was the one that has the track record, and he has, he brought ideas like Medicare for all into the mainstream. It's no longer considered far out there socialist idea that will never happen. A lot of people are talking about it, and a lot of people want to see it come about. But during the 2020 primaries, the Democratic primaries, there were a lot of nominees running on Bernie's ideas, and they obviously don't have that track record. And the idea, it seemed fairly obvious to me and to a lot of other people, was that they were trying to dilute Bernie's vote share so that he didn't win. And it was borne out by the fact that a lot of these people, they actually couldn't maintain their positions. They couldn't keep lying, and they ended up no longer supporting a lot of these ideas. And obviously, in the run-up to Super Tuesday, the last ones that were left all dropped out and supported Biden after he won just one state. And then everyone seemed to run with this idea that Biden was going to win. And I've never, it shocked me just how corrupt the entire thing was, and how it was just so depressing to see. But a similar thing also happened just after the 2019 UK election. I mean, there's so much I could go into there, how Corbyn was just under constant attack for his entire tenure as a Labour leader. But the thing I want to talk about is what happened afterwards. Corbyn stepped down because he lost quite badly, and the Labour Party tried to decide the next leader. And the guy that eventually became the leader of the party was called Keir Starmer, and he ran on some of Corbyn's ideas, but once he got into power, into power, and once he became the Labour leader, he pretty much purged the entire left wing of the party, and yeah, he walked back all of those ideas, and throughout the pandemic, he, in some cases, actively supported the Tories, but where he did oppose, it was over the most meaningless shit you could possibly think of. And recently, the Tories raised corporation tax. Labour under Keir Starmer were to the right of even that. There's so much I could talk about there, but the main idea here is when someone campaigns on an idea, how can you trust that once they're actually in power, they actually implement those ideas? With Bernie, you have a 40-year-long track record. What do you do about younger politicians? You know, we've already seen people like AOC just start fawning over Nancy Pelosi and not fighting them, which is what they were put there to do. How do we stop these things from happening? How do we know who to trust? How do we know who's on our side? And you know, how do we even know if they've maybe even been corrupted through some process that we don't see? And I don't know how we solve that problem, but you know, if we're to really improve the situation as it currently stands, there needs to be an effective left again, like there was in the past. That doesn't necessarily constitute just communists, but socialists as well, anarchists who lean to the left are not obviously anarcho-capitalists, ANCAPs, but you need some kind of alliance there to actually shift the Overton window globally to the left. But when we have trouble even trusting that some of the people that talk about these ideas are actually on our side, what do? I have no solution to that. I've been trying to rack my brain to come up with some way that you can make this work, and I just don't know. So I'd like to get you guys, I'd like to get your thoughts on that. Maybe you're not on the left, but you know, I'd still be interested in what you have to say. Bye.